My beloved child, I want you to take a deep breath and truly listen to what I am about to say to you in this sacred moment of stillness. You did not arrive at this moment by accident or by some random roll of the cosmic dice. You did not find these words through a simple click or a lucky turn of events in your day. I have been watching you through every high and every low, and I have been waiting for this exact second, this precise heartbeat, to speak directly into the depths of your heart. I am saying to you today, with a voice full of love and authority, finally, you found it. This message, this deep and powerful connection we are sharing right now, was intentionally hidden for a specific season of your life. It wasn't kept from you to cause you unnecessary pain or to make you feel abandoned, but it was preserved for this very hour because I knew your spirit would finally be ready to receive it. There is a sacred timing to everything under the sun, a rhythm to the universe that I have set in motion, and right now, the heavens are aligning their stars just for you. Please, I ask you with the gentleness of a father, do not turn away from this. This is not just another voice in the loud and chaotic noise of the world. This is a divine message of protection and guidance, designed to wrap you in a peace that passes all human understanding and to show you that your journey has always had a destination. As you prepare to receive the depth of what I have to say, consider sharing this prophecy with one other person in your life. Sharing this message is a powerful way to multiply the favor on your own life. As you become a willing vessel to extend this blessing to a soul who may be in desperate need of hope, you open the floodgates for even greater favor and light to return to you. What I have kept covered until now, I am uncovering for your benefit and for your ultimate growth. You may have spent months or even years feeling like you were walking through a thick gray fog, wondering if your prayers were falling on deaf ears or if I had moved on to someone else. You may have felt like the doors you were knocking on with your bare hands were permanently locked against you, but I want you to understand that I am the one who holds the keys to every door in your life. I am the Lord your God, and I am speaking to your soul right now to tell you that the wait is coming to an end. This moment is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment that was scheduled before you were ever born. You didn't just stumble here. I led you by the hand through the darkness. I whispered to your spirit when you were restless and couldn't sleep. And I nudged your heart when you felt that sudden, unexplainable urge for something more than just daily survival. Every step you took, even the ones that felt like they were going in circles or leading you into a dead end, was actually a step toward this revelation. I want you to lean in now and let your doubts be silenced by the absolute truth of my presence. Your spirit already knows this is real, even if your mind is trying to analyze it. You can feel that familiar, gentle warmth in your chest, that sense of recognition that says, I am finally home. What happens next in your life depends on your willingness to simply stay, listen, and open your heart to the possibilities I am laying out before you. I'm not here to demand anything from you. I am here to offer you a shift in direction, a change in your life's narrative, and a door that has been locked for years that is finally beginning to creak open under my hand. This message was hidden because some things are so precious, they must be discovered through seeking, not just handed out without purpose. You have reached this point because you were meant to, and I allowed the delays because I wanted you to truly value the moment the veil is lifted. If you feel the warmth of my presence and you know deep in your soul that this is your divine appointment, type Amen in the comments below. By writing this, you are opening the gates of your heart to receive the specific revelation I have prepared just for you today, signaling to the heavens that you are ready for the shift. You have often asked me in the quiet hours of the night why things had to be so incredibly hard for you. You wondered why the answers to your most desperate prayers were delayed, and why the path ahead seemed so obscured by long shadows and uncertainty. My child, I want you to know that the hidden season you just walked through was actually a season of intense divine protection. Just as a tiny seed must stay beneath the cold soil in the complete darkness to grow its roots deep and strong before it can reach for the light of the sun, you were being nurtured and strengthened in the quiet. If I had brought you into the light too soon, your roots would not have been deep enough to sustain the weight of the blessing I have for you. What I am revealing to you now is not meant to overwhelm you or scare you with the magnitude of the change. It is meant to prepare you for the greatness that is already inside of you. I have chosen you to walk through a season of transition that many people around you will not understand. And because of that, you needed a foundation that was built in the secret, sacred places where only you and I dwell. This moment is holy. This is where the old version of your life begins to fade away like a dream, and the new reality begins to take form. What is coming soon is not an end, but a beautiful, vibrant beginning. You might feel a shaking in the world around you, and you might see things in the news or in your community that look like absolute chaos. But I want you to stay rooted in me. Those who are grounded in my love and my truth will not fall, no matter how hard the wind blows. I have kept you hidden until this very moment, because I was preserving your strength and protecting your spirit from the distractions that would have pulled you away from your calling. What I am about to reveal will not only shift the course of your own life, but it will create a ripple effect of grace and power that touches the generations coming after you, changing your family line forever. Choosing to subscribe to this channel is an act of obedience that secures your alignment with the new season I am unfolding. It ensures you stay connected to the flow of my word, so you never miss a single step in the journey I've mapped out for you. That is why this moment is so sacred. If you were to walk away now, you would miss the very blueprint I have drawn for your future. A blueprint that includes joy, provision, and a peace you've never known. What is hidden is never cheap, and because this revelation is holy, it requires your full attention and your willing heart. You are part of a remnant that I have carefully preserved through the fire. You are the one I whispered to in the middle of the night when the house was silent and your heart was heavy with questions that seemed to have no answers. You are the one I carried when you had no words left to pray, when your only communication with me was a heavy sigh or a quiet tear that fell on your pillow. I saw you when you crumbled behind closed doors, away from the eyes of the world that expects you to be strong all the time. I watched you wait with such incredible patience while it seemed like everyone else was running ahead of you and winning at the game of life. But I want you to know that I was never late. I am never slow, and I am never hurried. I was building something deeper in you than you could ever imagine. I was crafting a character that is solid and a faith that is unshakable. This message isn't for the masses who only want the surface-level blessings and the easy answers. It is for the one who kept seeking my face even when heaven felt like silent brass. You are that one, and your time of being hidden is coming to a glorious end as you step into the light of my favor. I have called you to this specific moment to bring a divine understanding to your past pain and a sharp clarity to the silence you've endured for so long. You thought I had forgotten the promises I made to you when you were younger. You believed that perhaps the window of opportunity had closed and the best parts of your life had already passed you by. But I say to you now, listen with your spirit. What I am unfolding in your life right now will explain the why behind every struggle you've ever faced. Every tear was a seed, and every struggle was a training ground. Take a moment right now and let your heart recognize my voice. It is the voice that has been with you since the beginning. I have always spoken in ways that the world chooses not to hear because the world is too loud and too busy. I have thundered on the mountains, and I have whispered in the back of the smallest caves. I have written my promises in the arrangement of the stars, and I have carved my truth onto the very stone of your heart. And now, I am speaking to you through this very moment, through these very words, to tell you that the shaking you feel is purposeful. You need to know that what is happening in the spirit realm right now is not about destruction. It is about a massive global awakening, and you are at the forefront of it. To the world, it may feel like a terrifying shaking of all foundations. To the eyes of the flesh, it might seem like a total collapse of everything you thought was stable and permanent. But in reality, it is me clearing away the debris of your past. It is me removing the clutter, the false foundations, and the things that were holding you back from stepping into your true, God-given purpose. I am making room for what must come next. I am clearing the soil so that the new growth can come forth without being choked by weeds. Do not fear the changes that are coming. This is not your ruin, it is your rise. I am lifting up the ones that the world cast aside and labeled as unworthy or too far gone. I am raising the ones who clung to me with white-knuckled faith when nothing made any sense at all. You are being positioned for a level of influence and peace that you cannot yet comprehend. If you believe that I am speaking directly to your heart right now, take a moment to acknowledge that connection and let it settle deep into your bones. You have cried out to me in your darkest hours, asking for answers, and I want you to know that I heard every single word, even the ones you were too tired to speak out loud. You didn't realize that I was actually answering you when I allowed certain doors to close firmly in your face. You didn't know that I was speaking to you when I let certain people walk away from your life, even when it hurt to see them go. But every delay, every no, and every quiet, lonely night was a vital part of a much larger design. I wasn't ignoring you. I was positioning you for a victory that is much larger than the battle you were fighting. What I am about to bring into your life is so significant and so heavy with glory that it cannot be rushed or forced into existence before you are ready. You are entering a divine unfolding that requires you to trust my timing over your own limited understanding. Trust that I see the end from the beginning, and my plan for you is perfect in its beauty and its timing. My child, I want you to sit in this truth for a moment. Do not let your human fear or your natural anxiety interpret my timing as a form of rejection. I know that in the silence of the waiting, the enemy whispers that I have passed you by. But I am the sovereign author of time itself, and I never, ever waste a single moment of your life. Every second you spent in what felt like a desert was a second I was using to refine the gold within your soul. I am fully aware that many of you have been feeling a strange, intense pressure building up deep inside your spirit lately. You have felt an inner shaking, a spiritual tension that doesn't seem to have a logical source in your physical circumstances. You look at your life and wonder why you feel so restless when you should feel settled. I want to tell you that this tension is not a sign of something going wrong. It is because something major in the spiritual realm is shifting before it becomes visible to your natural eyes. What you are sensing in your gut is completely real. The unseen world is far more real and far more permanent than the world you can touch and see. And I am speaking directly to your spirit now before the physical manifestation breaks through in your daily life. You are not imagining this sensation of being on the verge of something massive. You are sensing the absolute nearness of my hand on your life. And you are feeling the beginning of a magnificent change that will alter your history. Get ready, because when I move in this next season, the shift will be incredibly swift. I am the God of the suddenly, and I am preparing a moment where the years of waiting will be swallowed up by a day of breakthrough. Suddenly, the heavy weight that has been pressing down on your shoulders, making it hard to even breathe at times, will break off and fall away. Suddenly, the dry, cracked places in your soul where you felt like you had nothing left to give will begin to bloom with vibrant new life. Suddenly, the silence that has haunted your prayers and made you wonder if I was listening will turn into loud and beautiful songs of pure joy. Liking this video is a simple yet profound act of faith. Let your click be the spark that signals your spirit is ready, accelerating the divine breakthrough I am releasing into your life at this very moment. I have not forgotten a single one of your prayers, even the ones you prayed years ago and tucked away in the back of your heart. I have collected every single tear you've shed in the privacy of your room. I keep them in a bottle because they are precious to me, and not one of them has been wasted or overlooked by my grace. I am not only a God who makes big promises, I am a God who is a faithful promise keeper. I do not lie, I do not exaggerate, and I never change my mind about the love I have for you. When I said I would take care of you and provide for your every need, I meant every single word with all the power of heaven. It may have looked completely impossible from your human perspective, and you may have felt like you were staring at a brick wall with no way over, under, or through. But I work far beyond the limits of human sight and the boundaries of human logic. I am the one who opens doors that no man, no matter how powerful or influential, can ever shut. And I am the one who closes doors that no man can force open. I am not moved by the scary statistics of the world, and I am not limited by the negative reports of men or the experts who say it can't be done. I am the same God who parted the Red Sea when my people were trapped, and I am the same God who walks on the water of the storms that try to sink your boat. I am the one who breaks down walls of opposition without ever having to touch them. I heal the wounds that the world says are unnameable, and I restore the years and the relationships you thought were gone forever. This moment you are in right now is not an ordinary moment in time. This is the threshold of your destiny. This is the point where you will eventually look back and say, that was the day everything finally started to change for the better. The reason the pressure has been so intense and the attacks have come so hard is that the enemy saw what was coming for you before you were even aware of it. He tried to silence your voice and crush your hope before your breakthrough arrived, but he has failed miserably. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still standing in the face of the fire. And because you are still standing, my promise over your life still stands as firm as the heavens. I want you to understand that there is a deep spiritual principle at work in the universe, a divine law of abundance that I have set in place specifically for my children to thrive. You live in a world that focuses on lack, on not having enough, and on the fear of running out. But my kingdom is a kingdom of more than enough. You may have heard people talk about secret scripts or hidden words that bring wealth, but I want you to know that the truth is much simpler and yet much more powerful than anything the world offers. My word is the ultimate blueprint for your life, and when you align your thoughts with my truth, you are activating a spiritual authority that changes your entire reality. This isn't about some magic formula. It is about the profound power of a renewed mind. When you stop seeing yourself through the lens of your bank account or your past failures and start seeing yourself as my heir, the atmosphere around you begins to shift. You begin to attract the opportunities, the people, and the provision that I have already set aside for you in the heavenly realms. This is the true path to a life of abundance, not through striving or manipulation, but through resting in the identity I have given you. For too long, the world has tried to keep the secret of spiritual peace and prosperity hidden under layers of fear and heavy doubt. But I am telling you today that you can activate the spirit of abundance within you right now by simply resting in my grace and trusting my heart. I saw you pray even when your heart was breaking into 1,000 pieces. I saw you tithe and give and help others even when you weren't sure how you would make it through the week. I am answering you now in a way you didn't expect, and it is going to be far better than what you asked for. You didn't miss the promise, and you certainly haven't fallen behind the others. What is about to happen in your life will prove once and for all that every season of silence, and every moment of painful delay had a divine purpose behind it. This is not a random occurrence or a stroke of luck. This is me, your creator, stepping into your situation at the exact moment I planned before the foundations of the world were even laid. Take a moment to like this message as an act of faith. It is a physical sign of your spiritual agreement, creating a momentum that moves the mountains currently standing in the way of your increase. There is a shaking coming to the structures of the world. But I tell you again, with all the love in my heart, do not be afraid. I am not shaking you to destroy you or to take away what is yours. I am shaking the things in your life that were never meant to stay for the long haul. I am shaking the dead weight, the toxic relationships, and the false beliefs that have been holding you back. Anything that is not rooted in my love must fall away, so that the beautiful things I have planted in your spirit can flourish without being choked out by the noise. You are about to see certain people, old patterns, and unnecessary pressures leave your life without a single word of warning. Do not chase what I am removing from your path. Do not try to hold on to the things I am breaking off for your own protection. I prune what I love because I am preparing you for a harvest that is so big you won't have room to store it all. I never subtract anything from your life without setting the stage for a much larger and more glorious increase. My heart for you is one of expansion, of growth, and of a life lived in the overflow of my goodness. Trust the pruning process, for it is the precursor to the greatest blooming season you have ever seen. You need to know deep in your soul that you have never walked a single mile of this long and winding journey alone. Even in the moments when you felt completely isolated, as if the entire world had turned its back on you and the heavens were silent, my presence was a shield around you. I want you to understand that you are not cursed, you are not forgotten, and you are not an accident. You are my chosen, my beloved, and a sacred vessel of my light in a dark world. There is a deep spiritual truth that I want you to anchor your soul in today. No weapon that is formed against you will ever be able to truly prosper in its mission. This is not because of your own human strength or your ability to solve every problem. It is entirely because of my strength flowing through your veins. I have surrounded you with a wall of protection even when you didn't feel a single thing. There have been countless times when my angels stood guard over you as you slept. And when danger came close to your home, I was the one who turned it away before it could touch you. What I am about to reveal will not only shift the course of your own life, but it will create a ripple effect that touches the generations coming after you. By subscribing, you are performing an act of obedience that keeps you positioned in the center of my guidance. It is a way to secure your alignment with this community of faith, ensuring you are always ready for the next level of my protection. You don't even know half the things I have stopped from touching your life. There are stories you will only fully understand when we stand face to face. Stories of how many times I stepped in and blocked a blow that was meant to crush your spirit and end your journey. You are here today, not because the battle was easy or because you were stronger than the enemy. You are here because I never left your side for a single second of the fight. Your name is not just a number in a crowd. It is written on the very palms of my hands with the love that can never be erased. I know your name, I know the rhythm of your heart, and I know every secret hope you've ever whispered into the dark. You are the one I whispered to in your sleep when you were restless and burdened by the cares of the world. You are the one I kept waking up in the middle of the night because I wanted to speak directly to your heart, away from the loud distractions of your daily life. If you trust that my hand has been your secret shield through the storms you never even saw coming, declare it by typing Amen right now. Let this be your testimony that the enemy's plans have failed, and my protection over your life is absolute. Your words here serve as an anchor of faith that secures your peace. The restlessness you have been feeling lately is not a sign of chaos, though the world might try to tell you otherwise. It is actually a sign of your high calling. You were made for so much more than just paying bills and surviving until the weekend. You were created to carry something sacred, a light that this world desperately needs to see. That is why the pressure in your life has increased recently. That is why it feels as though the spiritual warfare around your peace has intensified to a fever pitch. It's because the enemy of your soul knows that I have marked you for a purpose that he simply cannot stop, no matter how hard he tries. You are not going to stay stuck in the place where you currently find yourself. I am releasing you right now from the cycles of fear that have dictated your choices for years. I am freeing you from mindsets that have acted like invisible chains on your divine potential. I am washing away the shame that has lingered far too long in the corners of your mind. You have asked me to open new doors, but I want you to realize that some doors required me to free you from your old self first. You thought the delay was a sign of my silence, but it was actually the process of your deliverance. I was delivering you from the version of yourself that wasn't yet ready to carry the massive weight of the blessing I am about to pour out on you. I am calling you to rise now into the fullness of who I created you to be. The time for hiding in the shadows and playing small is officially over. The time for hesitation and second-guessing your worth is a thing of the past. This is your moment to walk forward with a holy confidence that is not rooted in your own accomplishments, but in my love for you. This isn't the kind of pride that the world teaches, which is brittle and easily broken. Nor is it a false bravado born of hidden fear. It is the quiet, unshakable boldness of knowing that you are walking hand in hand with the Creator of the stars. By liking this video, you are making a declaration of faith. It is a small action that carries heavy spiritual weight, accelerating the manifestation of the favor I am placing upon your path today. You are about to walk into places where your name was already spoken in honor before you even walked through the door. You are about to receive opportunities that you didn't even have the courage to dream about. You are going to find favor in rooms where others were turned away, not because you have a better resume, but because I have gone before you to prepare the spiritual atmosphere for your arrival. I have already prepared the room. I have aligned the specific conversations you need to have, and I have softened the hearts of the people you will meet along the way. I have already written your name into the next exciting chapter of this story. All you need to do is have the courage to step into it. When the blessings start to flow and people begin to ask you how you did it and why you were the one chosen, I want you to tell them the absolute truth. Tell them it was God. Tell them it was grace. Tell them it was never your own limited human strength that opened the door, but it was my hand alone that moved the mountains. If you are ready to declare your faith in what I have already begun to do in the unseen realm, let your heart settle into a state of deep, quiet gratitude. I am not limited by the physical things that limit you. Where your physical strength ends, my supernatural power begins its best work. Where your best laid plans failed, my perfect plan takes over the lead and carries you to the finish line. I am not asking you to sit down and figure out every single detail of the next 10 years of your life. I am simply asking you to trust me when the individual pieces of the puzzle don't seem to make any sense. Lean into me when the way ahead looks unclear or covered in mist. You weren't created to carry the heavy weight of the world on your own shoulders. You were made to walk with me and let me carry the load. Even right now, as you are absorbing these words and letting them sink into your spirit, my presence is surrounding you like a warm blanket. This isn't just a nice theory or a comforting thought to get you through the day. It is the absolute, eternal truth of your existence. It is a power and a peace that you can actually feel if you just stop for a second and breathe deeply. Feel the warmth on your skin and the softening in your chest as the tension leaves your body. That is me. That is my presence reaching out to you. Every single word I have ever spoken over your life will come to pass in its perfect season. Even the promises you forgot about in your grief, and even the dreams you stopped praying for because they seemed too far out of reach, I have not forgotten them. I do not lie, and I do not forget my children. I don't change my mind about you based on your mistakes or your performance. What I spoke over you in the beginning, I will be the one to finish with glory. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I complete every single thing I start, and that includes the magnificent work I am doing in your soul right now. I am currently doing a work in you that is so deep and so quiet that you may not have even noticed the full extent of it yet. I am reaching into the hidden places of your soul, the corners where you tucked away the memories that hurt too much to look at, and the dreams you thought were too broken to ever be mended. I am healing parts of you that you didn't even realize were still wounded. I am moving through the timeline of your life, touching the moments of rejection and the seasons of loneliness with my restorative power. I am reaching into the deep, quiet places of your spirit and restoring the parts of you that have been silent for years, giving you back your voice and your ability to hope. I am bringing joy back to the places where you thought you would never smile again, and I am planting seeds of peace where anxiety used to grow like a weed. If you are ready for your joy to be restored, like this video as an act of faith. Let this be the moment you agree with my promise, accelerating the movement of my spirit in every area of your life. This act of faith is a signal that you are no longer willing to be defined by your wounds, but by my healing. I want you to watch closely as I take the pain you've endured and turn it into a magnificent, shining purpose that will serve as a lighthouse for others. Watch how I take the sting of every betrayal and use it to build an internal strength and a level of discernment that no one can ever take away from you. Nothing is ever wasted when it is placed in my capable hands. Every heartbreak you've suffered, every delay that made you cry out in frustration, and every long night you spent wondering if you were going crazy or if you had somehow missed my will, it is all coming together now into a beautiful tapestry of grace. One day, very soon, you will look back at this intense season and realize that it had to happen exactly this way for you to become the person you are now. You will find yourself in a place of pure worship, not because your life finally became perfect or because all your problems vanished, but because you realized I was faithful through the entire storm and I never let you go. If you believe that I am taking your ashes and giving you a crown of beauty, and you are ready to see your restoration happen in plain sight, type Amen below. Let this simple act of agreement seal the promise that the pain of your past no longer has a hold on your future, but is being transformed into your greatest strength. Do not fear what lies ahead on the horizon, or wonder if the next season will be as hard as the last. I am already standing in your future, preparing the way for you. I am not bound by the limitations of time as you are, for I inhabit eternity. I see the end from the very beginning, and I have written a future for you that is overflowing with hope, goodness, and light. You may have to walk through a valley from time to time as part of your journey, but I promise you that you will not stay there. You are only passing through. I am walking through every fire and every flood right beside you, and my presence is your ultimate protection. When you come out on the other side of this current trial, you won't even smell like the smoke of the fire that tried to consume you. You will not carry the residue of the bitterness or the things that tried to break your spirit. I am bringing you through with a new kind of strength, a deep, settled peace, and a glory that reflects my own light to the world. You are not just going to survive this moment, you are going to be a living testimony of my radical restoration. I want you to hear me clearly today with the ears of your spirit. The shift you have been waiting for is not just coming in the distant future. It has already started. You are standing right in the middle of a massive spiritual turning point that will redefine the rest of your life. You've been asking me, when will it finally happen? When will I see the change I've been praying for? And I am telling you today that the wheels of heaven are already in motion. The floodgates have been opened over your life. The alignment has begun in the unseen realm. You aren't just waiting for something to break open. The cracks are already appearing in the old walls that have held you back for decades. Those cracks are the spiritual proof that the barrier is finally falling down. The tension and the pressure you felt recently weren't meant to crush you. They were the labor pains before the miracle is born. Subscribing today is an act of obedience that confirms your commitment to the transformation I am doing. It secures your alignment with this new season of growth, making sure you are always in the right place to receive the miracles I am birthing. You are about to see exactly what that intense pressure was producing within the depths of your character. You have been misunderstood by many people in your life, even by some of those who claim to know you best. Even some of the people closest to you haven't been able to see the treasure and the calling I placed inside of you. They judged your process because they didn't understand your destination. They questioned your journey because it didn't look like their journey or fit into their boxes of expectation. Some people walked away from you when things got difficult or when they couldn't see the immediate results of your faith. Some stayed around you but never truly believed in the vision I gave you. But I want you to know that I have always believed in you. I believed in the very thing I created in you before you were even a thought in your parents' minds. I never doubted the final outcome, and I never doubted your heart for a single second. That is why I protected you even when you were frustrated that things were seemingly falling apart. I didn't let those wrong opportunities flourish because I wasn't interested in you settling for a mediocre life that was beneath your potential. You are not ordinary, and that is why your path has looked so different and so difficult compared to everyone else's. There were moments when I had to intentionally break you away from what was familiar and comfortable. I had to separate you from people and environments that made you feel safe, but were actually keeping you from growing into your true self. I did it because I love you too much to let you stay small or hidden in a place that could no longer contain you. Comfort was starting to become a prison for your soul, and you were beginning to shrink yourself just to fit into spaces that I never called you to occupy. So, I let the discomfort increase to call you higher and pull you toward your destiny. My love is not passive. It is a transformative, active force that will always push you toward your highest potential. You have no idea the kind of supernatural favor that is about to meet you in the coming days. I have been arranging things behind the scenes that will make your heart overflow with gratitude. There are doors about to swing open that no human hand could have ever moved. Conversations are happening about your future in rooms you haven't even entered yet. When the invitation finally comes, do not ask if you are worthy or if you belong there. You are walking in because I ordained it, and my hand is the one guiding your steps. I want to speak directly to your soul right now because I know you have been running on empty for far too long. I see you showing up every single day, doing the right things, saying the words you think you're supposed to say to stay positive, and staying strong for everyone around you. But I also see what's happening in the quiet moments when no one else is looking. I see the kind of tired that a good night's sleep cannot fix. It is a spiritual exhaustion, a deep weariness that reaches into the very marrow of your bones. You have been faithful in the desert, continuing to walk even when you couldn't see a single drop of water. But I am telling you today that I am breathing new life into you, even as you absorb these words. My divine wind is blowing on the dry, brittle places of your heart. My spirit is reviving the dreams you thought were dead and gone. And I am reminding you that you were never intended to carry this heavy burden alone. What you feel as weakness is actually the perfect space for my strength to be displayed in its full glory. I am rebuilding you from the inside out, strengthening your foundations until you are more resilient than you ever were before. I am giving you new eyes to see yourself through the lens of my grace, rather than the lens of your own judgment. I want you to stop defining yourself by the mistakes of your past, by the things you think you lost, or by the people who decided to walk away when the path got steep and the air got thin. I am not holding your failures over your head like a dark cloud. I am washing them away with the infinite ocean of my mercy. I do not define you by your history. I define you by the purpose I have placed within you. Your calling is still alive, still breathing, and still waiting for you to fully embrace it with both hands. I have not changed my mind about the promises I made to you, so I'm asking you not to give up on the vision I gave you. There is still plenty of time, and you haven't messed things up too badly for me to fix them. My mercy is new every single morning, and it is more than enough to cover everything that happened yesterday. Do not let shame become a prison that keeps you from the light of my love. I am the God of redemption, the one who writes beauty into the most broken and messy chapters of a story. Let me take the torn pages of your life and bind them into a masterpiece of my grace. The shift that is happening around you is also happening deep within the core of your being, and that is why you feel so different and so detached from your old life lately. You are shedding the old layers of who you used to be because they no longer fit the person you are becoming. The old habits, the toxic thoughts, and the patterns of fear that used to define your days are falling away like old skin. Growth often feels like loss at first because you are losing what was familiar, but I want you to understand that you are actually making room for the miraculous to take up residence. What is coming next will fill that empty space in ways you never even imagined possible. I have seen your loyalty in the quiet, unseen moments. I have seen your obedience when there was no one there to see it or applaud you. I have seen the way you continued to love me and trust me even when you couldn't feel my presence or hear my voice. It matters to me more than you know. Every act of faith, every whispered prayer in the dark, and every choice to keep going when quitting felt like the easiest option. I have recorded it all. If you are ready to let go of the old shell and walk into the brand new version of who I created you to be, type Amen in the comments. This is your public declaration that you are stepping out of the shadows and into the glorious light of your true purpose, activating the new season I have prepared for you. I want you to prepare your heart and your mind, because what is coming to you is not a small thing. You did not go through all that pain, all that spiritual warfare, and all that intense stretching just for a minor adjustment in your life. No, my child, this is a major move. This is a deep and sacred turning point that will impact your entire future. I have been building your character in the secret, dark places to match the sheer size and weight of the blessing that is about to be released. If I had given it to you any earlier, the weight of the responsibility and the favor might have crushed you. But now, after the pruning of your heart and the pressing of your spirit, you are ready. You are not perfect, but you are prepared. You have been strengthened in the hidden seasons, so that I can now trust you in the open light where the world can see my glory through you. The stage is being set, and when I lift you up into this new position, no human being will be able to take the credit for your success. People will look at your life and they will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it had to be God. Liking this word right now is an act of faith that tells the heavens you believe in the impossible. This simple gesture helps accelerate the breakthrough that will soon make you a living testimony of my power. You may have felt like you were falling behind your peers, or that the best years of your life had already passed you by while you were waiting. But I am not controlled by human calendars or the expectations of society. I am the God who makes the sun stand still and stops the storms with a single whisper of my voice. I am never too late, and I am never too early. My timing is the definition of perfection. You are exactly where I need you to be, for this next movement of my spirit in the earth. What has been stored up for you in the heavenly storehouses is not being given away to someone else just because you had to wait a little longer. Your portion is protected and sealed with my name. It has been held in reserve specifically for you, and now I am leading you straight into the center of it. You don't have to chase what is meant for you, and you don't have to beg for what I have already promised. You don't have to fear that someone else will take your place or steal your crown, because your place was written with your name on it before the world began. I am a God of order and peace, not of confusion and chaos. I don't plant dreams in your heart just to watch them wither away, or to tease you with what you can't have. I plant them to prepare you for the harvest, and when the time is right, I bring them to life with the power you cannot ignore. I want you to breathe in the peace I am offering you right now, in this very second. Real peace is not the absence of trouble. It is the absolute presence of my spirit within the trouble. I am healing the anxiety that has tried to steal your rest and quieting the voices of fear that have tried to speak lies into your mind. My peace is not fragile, and it doesn't depend on what is happening in the world around you. It comes from the deep realization that I am with you, and I am for you. There are still some things I am removing from your life, some ties and some habits that are not meant to stay for this next leg of the journey. I am asking you to trust me with the separation. I am cutting off access to your heart from people who only meant to drain your energy. This is not punishment. It is divine protection for the promise I've placed in you. I want you to start expecting the miraculous in your life once again. Somewhere along the way, through the many trials and the heavy disappointments of life, you may have learned to lower your expectations just to protect yourself from getting hurt again. You started settling for good enough because you were afraid to hope for the extraordinary. But I'm calling you back to a place of pure, childlike faith. I want you to wake up each and every morning with a sense of wonder, truly believing that something beautiful, something divine, and something life-changing could unfold at any moment. You don't have to have the whole world figured out or understand the mechanics of how I will move. You just have to stay close to me. If you feel led to stay on this path, subscribe as an act of obedience. This simple choice secures your alignment with the divine landscape I am building, keeping you tuned into my voice as I lead you through your future. Your future is not a dark room to be feared. It is a vast landscape of possibilities that I have already walked through and mapped out for your benefit. I go before you to make the crooked paths straight and to turn the dry, lonely deserts into rushing rivers of provision. I don't just provide for your basic daily needs. I am a God of overflow and abundance. You won't just survive this next season by the skin of your teeth. You will flourish in a way that surprises even you. This isn't about luck, and it isn't about human chance. It is about the eternal covenant of love I have with you. I reward those who seek me with their whole hearts, and I have seen the way you have sought me even in the middle of your darkest nights. I am moving you from a place of desperate pleading to a place of joyful expectation. When you expect me to move, you create an atmosphere where miracles can breathe. There is a profound creative power in the way you align your spirit with my truth. While many people in the world talk about rituals or secret words, the most powerful thing you can do is simply agree with my goodness. When you speak words of faith, you are activating a spiritual law that the world is only just beginning to understand through the lens of science. Your brain, your heart, and your spirit all respond to the truth of my abundance. I am working not just around your circumstances, but deep inside of you, shifting the very way you see your own potential. I am removing the labels that others have tried to pin on you. Labels like failure, unworthy, or stuck. I am rewriting your inner dialogue with my truth. You are rebuilt, you are led, and you are deeply positioned for greatness. My hand is on you, and I will never let you go. You have walked through the fire, and it didn't consume you because I was right there in the flames with you. You are still standing because I breathed my own strength into your lungs when you were ready to give up. You have spent a lot of time recently wondering if you are truly qualified for the big things I have placed in your heart. You've looked at your past mistakes, your current limitations, and your lack of resources, and you've wondered how I could ever use someone like you to do something great. But I want to remind you of a fundamental truth of my kingdom. I do not call the qualified. I qualify the called. I didn't choose you because you had a perfect resume or because you had everything figured out. I chose you because you were willing to say yes when I whispered to your heart. I chose you because you keep coming back to me, even after you've stumbled or lost your way. That is the kind of heart I can work with, a heart that chooses obedience over comfort. Don't let the loud voice of doubt speak louder than the gentle voice of my spirit. I have placed unique gifts inside of you that have not even been seen by the world yet. There is a depth of wisdom, a boldness of spirit, and a clarity of vision that is about to be unlocked within you. If you are ready for your joy to be restored, like this video as an act of faith. Let this be the moment you agree with my promise, accelerating the movement of my spirit in every area of your life. In my kingdom, nothing faithful ever goes unseen, and I see the effort you are making to reach out to me. I am stirring things in your spirit that you didn't even know were there. You are going to start having ideas that feel like they came from another world because they did. They are whispers of heaven. You will have strategies and insights that don't come from human books or education, but from my spirit rising within you like a fountain. I am not just blessing your life. I am awakening your soul to its true power. I am igniting the fire that has been waiting to be unleashed since the day you were born. You belong to me long before the trauma, the fear, or the mistakes ever tried to claim your identity. I saw your whole story before the first word was ever written on the pages of time, and I still chose you to be my messenger and my light. You are not too far gone, and you are not too broken to be made beautiful again. I am patient with your process, and I am gentle with your wounds. I will walk with you through every single step of the restoration, never rushing you and never judging your pace. You are not going backward, even when it feels like you're standing still or taking a rest. Sometimes the most powerful growth happens in the stillness, in the quiet moments when you are learning to simply be in my presence without performing. I am getting ready to open a door for you that no man, no matter how powerful or wealthy, can ever shut. And when I open it, you won't have to kick it down or manipulate your way through. You will walk in with a peace that settles your soul. You will walk in with a grace that makes the difficult things look easy to everyone else. You will know it is me because the striving will finally end and the rest will begin. I make a way where there was no way, and I do it in a way that brings me glory and brings you a life of rest. You have often looked at the calendar with a heavy, aching heart, feeling as though the best years of your life have slipped through your fingers like dry grains of sand. You see others achieving milestones that you thought you would have reached by now, and that quiet voice of discouragement whispers that it is simply too late for you to start over. But I am the creator of time itself, and I do not operate within the narrow, tiny confines of a human clock. I want to tell you something that will set your soul at perfect ease. In my kingdom, nothing is ever truly lost when it is placed in my hands. I am the God who restores the years that the locusts have eaten. I am the God who can compress a decade of progress into a single year of supernatural favor. You are not behind schedule because you are on a divine schedule, and my timing is far more precise than any watch ever made. The years you spent in the wilderness were not lost time, they were invested time. I was investing in your character, your resilience, and your spiritual depth. If your spirit is sensing the divine acceleration I am bringing to your life, and you believe that I am making up for every lost year, type Amen right now. By doing this, you are agreeing with the heavenly speed that is about to change your reality, declaring that your harvest will finally catch up to your hope. Think of the seasons of the earth as a mirror to your life. The winter may seem long and barren, and to the naked eye, it looks as though nothing is happening beneath the snow. But beneath the frost, the soil is resting and gathering the nutrients it needs for the explosion of life that comes in the spring. You have been in a spiritual winter, but I tell you today that the thaw has already begun. I am reaching back into your past and pulling forward the lessons, the experiences, and even the pains to weave them into a future that is more vibrant than anything you could have planned for yourself. You will find that the lost time was actually a period of intense preparation for the weight of glory you are about to carry. I am going to give you a renewed sense of energy and a fresh passion that makes you feel as though you have been born again into your purpose. You will look back and realize that if I had given you the breakthrough 5 years ago, you wouldn't have been the person you are today. The person who can lead with integrity, who can love without fear, and who can stand firm in the face of any storm. I am restoring your hope, your strength, and your very sense of time. You are stepping into a season of acceleration where the harvest will catch up to the plowman, and you will see. My goodness manifests in ways that make the wait seem like a distant, faded memory. Do not allow the world's obsession with youth or speed to dictate your internal peace. You are exactly the age you need to be to carry the blessing I am placing upon you. There is a specific grace that comes with your maturity, a settledness of spirit that only comes through having walked through the fire and stayed true to me. I am using your history as a launchpad for your destiny. As you move into this brand new territory, I am sharpening your spiritual senses to a fine point. You have been in a season where it felt like everyone had an opinion on how you should live your life, and the loud noise of the world often drowned out the gentle whisper of my spirit. But I am giving you a new level of discernment that will act as a supernatural shield around your heart and mind. You will begin to see things not just as they appear on the surface, but as they truly are in the spirit. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between a golden opportunity and a glittering distraction. Not every open door is a door I have opened for you, and not every closed door is a sign of rejection. My discernment will allow you to walk past the things that look good to the eyes, but would eventually drain your soul. You will find yourself pulling away from conversations that feel heavy with negativity and gravitating toward the light. By liking this video, you are making a declaration of faith. It is a small action that carries heavy spiritual weight, accelerating the manifestation of the favor I am placing upon your path today. I am also giving you the discernment to recognize the true intentions of those around you. I have protected you from so many unseen traps in the past, but in this next season, I want you to walk with your eyes wide open. You will feel a subtle nudge in your spirit when something isn't right, and I want you to trust that nudge implicitly. Do not try to talk yourself out of what your spirit already knows to be true. I am protecting the promise I placed in you by teaching you how to guard your environment. Your inner circle is about to change because I am bringing in people of high integrity, people who will sharpen you rather than dull your edge. You will find that as your discernment grows, your anxiety decreases because you will no longer have to wonder who is for you and who is against you. You will know that because I am for you, it doesn't matter who tries to stand against you. This gift of discernment is also meant for your internal world. I am helping you see the habits, the thoughts, and the small compromises within your own heart that have been holding you back from your best life. I am gently shining a light on the fears you've tried to hide and the insecurities that have dictated your movements for years. This isn't to shame you or make you feel small, but to set you completely free. When you can discern the lies you've been telling yourself, you can finally replace them with my absolute truth. You will begin to see yourself as I see you, not as a victim of your past, but as a victor through my grace. You will discern the strength that has been growing in you even when you felt at your absolute weakest. This clarity will be your greatest asset in the days to come. You will walk with a new kind of authority, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are in total alignment with the truth. You may have heard the world talk about scripts or codes that can change your life. And while the world searches for shortcuts in the physical realm, I want to lead you to the eternal truth of the spiritual realm. There is indeed a power in your words, for the tongue has the power of life and death, and the words you speak create the world you live in. But this isn't about a magic formula. It is about the language of heaven. When you align your speech with my promises, you are participating in the creative power that formed the universe. I want to give you a simple, 9-word declaration of faith that will serve as an anchor for your soul when the winds of doubt begin to blow. My life is in God's hands, and I am blessed. If you are ready to use the language of heaven to transform your world, and you want to anchor your soul in my goodness, type Amen in the comments below. Let this act of faith activate the floodgates of abundance that I have been waiting to pour out on you, proving that your life is truly held in my hands. The world tries to complicate the concept of abundance, making it seem like something you have to hack or work yourself to death to achieve. But true abundance flows from a heart that is at perfect rest in my provision. I am your source, and I am the one who provides the seed for the sower and bread for food. When you stop worrying about the how and start focusing on the who, the floodgates of heaven begin to move on your behalf. These 9 words are not a magic spell, but a spiritual alignment. They remind you that even when your bank account looks low or your resources seem thin, my storehouses are always overflowing. I am not limited by the economy of man or the fluctuations of the market. I am the God who fed thousands with a few loaves and fish, and I have not changed. When you speak the language of heaven, you are inviting my supernatural supply into your natural, everyday situation. I want you to become deeply conscious of the words you speak over your life, your health, and your family. If you spend your days talking about how tired you are, how broke you are, or how hard life is, you are essentially building a wall of your own making that blocks my light. But when you begin to speak my truth, even before you see it manifested with your eyes, you are tearing that wall down stone by stone. This is the neuroscience of faith. When you repeatedly tell your heart that you are held and loved by me, your body begins to respond with peace, and your mind begins to see opportunities that were previously hidden by the fog of stress. Your 9 words are a declaration of independence from the spirit of fear. They are a signal to the unseen realm that you belong to me. Let these words become the background music of your mind. We are reaching the point in your journey where the training ends and the mission finally begins. You have been through the refining fire. You have learned the value of the silence, and you have discovered the power of my presence in the dark. Now, I am calling you to step forward into the fullness of the purpose for which you were specifically created. This is the final movement out of the shadows and into the glorious light. You have been a student of my grace, and now you are becoming a monument of my mercy for the world to see. The restlessness you felt is the pull of your destiny, urging you to leave the safety of the shallow shore and launch into the deep waters where the big things happen. I am not calling you to do this in your own strength, but in the momentum of my spirit. I have already cleared the path. You only need to keep walking. As an ambassador of the future I've promised, subscribing is an act of obedience that keeps your spirit sharp. It secures your ongoing alignment with the mission I've given you, ensuring you remain a beacon of hope in a world that needs my light. You will find that as you take these final steps of complete surrender, the things that used to be incredibly difficult will suddenly become easy. The obstacles that once seemed like massive mountains will look like tiny molehills from the perspective of your new spiritual height. I am giving you a second wind, a supernatural burst of energy and passion to finish this season strong and enter the next one with your head held high. This is the time when your testimony will begin to take its final shape. People will look at your life and see the undeniable evidence of my hand. They will see the restoration of what was lost. They will see the peace that doesn't make sense, and they will see the favor that follows you wherever you go. You are not just a survivor of your past. You are an ambassador of your future. You are a living proof that I can take a broken life and turn it into a masterpiece of hope and beauty. Do not look back at the what-ifs or the should-have-beens of your past. Those are nothing but shadows that have no power over you anymore. Focus your gaze with laser-like intensity on the horizon I have set before you. I am doing a new thing, and it is springing forth even now as you listen to these words. Can you perceive it? It is the sound of heavy chains falling to the floor, the sound of massive doors swinging open, and the sound of my voice saying, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have stayed the course through the wind and the rain. You have kept the faith when it would have been easier to walk away. And now, the reward is not just a destination, but a deeper, more intimate relationship with me that will never be taken away from you. This is your moment. This is your rise. This is the beginning of the very best part of your story. My dear, precious child, as we come to the close of this message, I want you to carry one thing with you above all else as you go about your day. I am with you always, even until the very end of the age. Our conversation doesn't end here. It continues in every breath you take, in every sunset you watch, and in every quiet moment of your day. I am not a distant, cold God who speaks once and then disappears into the clouds. I am the heartbeat of your life and the breath in your lungs. I am the whisper in the wind and the warmth in the sun on your face. You have been chosen for such a time as this, not to be a mere spectator of life, but to be a bold participant in my glory. You are precious to me. You are valued beyond words. You are loved with an everlasting love. To help you sustain this high frequency and anchor these promises in your physical walk, I have prepared prophetic points of contact for you. Through the luxury gold palace, you may find spiritual tools designed to serve as anchors for this blessing, whether it is the amethyst to guard your newfound peace, the citrine to manifest the abundance of my kingdom, or the blue topaz to keep your spirit aligned with my truth. These are not mere jewelry, but sacred reminders of our covenant. You can find the path to these spiritual tools in the pinned comment below. Let them be a physical testimony of the shift that has occurred in your spirit today. Before you go, take a moment to share this prophecy with someone who needs to hear it. By extending this word to others, you are acting as a conduit of my grace, ensuring that the blessing I've given you today multiplies and reaches the hearts of those who are still searching for home. Protect this flame I have lit in your heart today. Keep your heart turned toward the light, and remember that no matter how dark the night may seem, the morning is always, always coming. I have already written the final chapter of your life, and I can tell you now, it is a chapter of absolute triumph and peace. You will look back on this very day as the moment you chose to believe again, the moment you chose to hope against hope, and the moment you decided to trust me with your whole heart. Go in peace, go in power, and go in the knowledge that you are a child of the King. I am the Lord your God, and I am always, always for you. Amen.